Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce you. My name is Rika Fatima and my co-author is Dr. Bambang Widiat Niko. Our title is Transpolation Tetrapreneur, Innovative Model of Global Gotong Royong Tetrapreneur on Inventing Iconic Transmigration in Indonesia. So this is some of our introduction, me as the first author, and then I'm from the Faculty of Economic and Business Universitas Gadjah Mada, and this is several of my expertise for almost 20 years. And our second author is Dr. Bambang. He is Director of Planning for the Establishment of Transmigration Areas, Ministry of Villages, PDT, and also Transmigration as well. So having those, we comes to the introduction. We have several sections here. The first one is introduction, how we try to share you that Tetrapreneur already implemented since 2013 in start in the country of Malaysia, and then it's having a good acceptance there for the economic acceleration. And then also not only Malaysia, it's also already acknowledged in the Global Forum in 2014 in Bangkok International Development Dialogue, and continues from that how then Korea as well try to see the similarity that Semaul Undang movement with the Gotong Royong movement. However, having that the Gotong Royong in economic in Indonesia slightly different with the Semaul Undang, since we have the tetrapreneur model into the Gotong Royong thing. So in 2018 and 2019, G2R Tetrapreneur have a privilege to be invited as one of the speaker from the global speaker such as from the United Nations here, and then from the German, and then here from the Indonesia. The interesting is that how the forum acknowledge that Gotong Royong is a very adaptive model that can be referred to other country. So having the Malaysia and then Korea, and then we goes to Indonesia, starting the pioneer movement from our governor in Yogyakarta, and then since 2018 already started, and then it's already growth into 23 villages and also 3 unit in urban city. And then if we see here how the mapping spread all in Yogyakarta, and then how the growth is very significant there, shows how the leadership and also the policy maker is very committed to this kind of program. And not only the government, but also the industry is also there, having accompany all the iconic product. And what they effort is very real, having Turkey, Mesir, Dubai, until US and China, Singapore, Oman, Japan, Singapore, and Malaysia, the test market is going so well. So it's just a matter of time how we can fulfill all the demand from this kind of countries. And also G2R Tetrapreneur achievement is not only goes to the product only, to the villages or the people who goes directly on that, but also to the impact is so wide, such as the youngsters, also the government itself, as you see here, from local, national, and global achievement. It's so breathtaking. So what is G2R Tetrapreneur model? If you see the shattered rich country, if you see here, small richness not by design yet being the big. So we have so many things, we have everything, but we don't realize that all the potential, all the richness, even it's small and then it's distributed into different areas, is the big one. And why it's not yet to be big one? Because yet by design, the measurement of this kind of small movement, small power, still reflected to the big capitalism measurement. So if you see here, we see the right measure is not always to be equal or not always to be the same, but it needs to be fair. Okay, need to be fair. If not, for big for big player need to have a bigger responsibility compared to the not one. So having said that, we need to unite. It's time to unite by having global strategy. One of them is how we can have a single entity, how we can have the global gotong royong tetrapreneur united all the effort in Indonesia and becoming iconic, because iconic as a single entity it is. So iconic is a symbol or image that directly raises a relationship. So it is a beyond business. It's beyond only selling product. It's not only raising the onset, etc. But it is about nation. It's about our generation. That when we see the global gotong royong tetrapreneur, we know that we are Indonesian. That going global, we spread all the goodness of the gotong royong is. So how we go this kind of iconic thing, we go by the model of tetrapreneur approach. Tetrapreneur is a model of sustainable entrepreneurial innovation for, this is the highlight, independence and dignity. How? The invention of global iconic product by 4 pillars named chainpreneur, marketpreneur, qualitypreneur, and brandpreneur, mark on the independence and dignity. Why is that? Because the vision and mission of G2R Tetrapreneur is not only having the economic scale up, but also the humanity is up. So the icon is the wisdom itself, how it goes to global, and we as the reference, the main references, how we shows the world that we are civilized society. And having this, we need to put the dignify. We need to give back the dignify of the humanity into the intellectual resources, not something that we can. It's not something dead. It's not only thing, but it's a human. It has the intellectual property in there. It's not only professor, doctor who have that, but all the humankind is the intellectual person in their own way. So having this kind of movement, it need to be goes to our Pancasila as our country basis, especially in Sila Pertama, ketuhanan yang Maha Esa, or we can, all the things that we do, all the effort that we do, it goes by rahmat by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala or God Almighty, whatever our religion is. So having that, when we see the transmigration development, we can have a Transpolitan as one of the advanced innovation of the transmigration itself. How the Transpolitan shows the region that has superior innovative creative transmigrant, and then has the product innovation, have a regional branding, have a professional modern pentahelix collaboration. It's the perfect one, Transpolitan. And how we do that, how we achieve that, if Transpolitan is the hardware, then Tetrapreneur is the software. How we move goes into the Transpolitan. It shows in this model. And then G2R Tetrapreneur, when we're talking about iconic transmigration, then we can see G2R as 4 approach. The first one as a program scheme with the budget base, program scheme with the community base, and for this paper, we try to implement how G2R Tetrapreneur as assessment scheme. And the last one is how G2R Tetrapreneur can fulfill the capacity building scheme as well. So there are 3 assessments that we try to write down in our paper. The first one, how the transmigrants innovation on Kopi Rano. So transmigration innovation with Arabica coffee development, if we put with the Transpolitan Tetrapreneur approach, it already fulfilled Tetra 1, which is chainpreneur, as Kopi Rano has already superior coffee product, but the supply chain is still limited to the collectors. So that's why the Tetra 2, 3, and 4 is the focus one when we want to develop this transmigration side, especially for the Kopi Rano is. And then a different condition when we see the assessment 2 for the innovation of third primer certified watermelon and melon. in Tanjung Buka SP Farmer Group. If we see different with the Rano coffee that already fulfill on Tetra 1 only, in Tanjung Buka SP Farmer Group, they already fulfill in 3 tetras, which is Tetra 1, 2, and 3. However, the emphasis of the effort that we need to develop and focus on is more on Tetra 4, which is they already have all the materials to go blasting, to go accelerating to the iconic potential, since they already have done the Tetra 1, 2, and 3. If we see here the differences, how the assessment appear is also can give advantages for the government to see each of the site, each of the cases more focused and not equal implemented for the intervention wise. And the different assessment as well for the case 3 on Trans Science Technopark in Transmigration region, or we call it TSTPKP. Here, tetrapreneur mapping to the zone in Transpolitan, and then how here the dot circle and the dot under each of the tetra shows the projection fulfilled. So this not yet implemented, but it can be projected if it is implemented, what kind of fulfillment that we need. So G2R tetrapreneur under Transpolitan tetrapreneur is not only can be assessing the existing one, but also can be futuristic and projecting what it will implement it. Like this case, the dot line here under the Transpolitan and also under the 4 tetras show how the projection are. That's all from ours for our paper, and this is how some of the illustration that can be referred or inspired for the activities in Tetra 1, 2, 3 until 4. For example, is the G2R iconic upstream movement, such as how we open a store not in Indonesia but in overseas, and then how we try to collaborate with the industry, not always necessarily government move, but also need to be all side move. And then the second one, how the halal movement, as this one is already global standardization, so G2R also there. And then we have also with Gusti Mangkubumi in Yogyakarta, very dynamic movement in here. And we cannot forget that we have the demography bonus in Indonesia. So the millennial movement and generation Z is the main one. And also in Indonesia is very, very close to the community movement. This is also the strategic one. And how about the G2R iconic downstream? We can see here how the ministry can be included there, and then how the university can goes there, the young researchers join in the G2R, and then how the media is there, and then how the exposing also there. And we have also iconic self-partner that shows our iconic product that collaborate directly with the society in Yogyakarta. Also can be in transmigration. And here are the G2R expansion. After having the pioneer, the villages, and then the GR to urban in Yogyakarta, some of the expansion, as we see here, is very interesting to watch. The first one is how the G2R tetrapreneur border included in the measurement when they are starting to interfere, and then how the G2R tetrapreneur for the women to move and to try their entrepreneurial, but still under the G2R tetrapreneur movement. And then here also the very first one in Indonesia, G2RT region by Kebumen. It's also breathtaking, and then they are starting this year. Hopefully it will be success. And last but not least, of course, Tetrapreneur Transpolitan, where Dr. Bambang himself, a very dynamic pushing how the innovation can be implemented not only in the Transpolitan, but also the economic side also moved by the Transpolitan. That's all. This is please come to our channel, G2R Tetrapreneur ID, and then we have also G2R Tetrapreneur official. You can support there, or you can learning together with us. And that's all, and hopefully good luck and success for you all, the audience, the ministry that held this kind of event. This is very exciting to have all the presenter and also the participant comes together, and hopefully we can be united and can deliver what really meant for the society at large. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.